Trevor, the traction engine, enjoyed living in the vicarage orchard. Edward came to see him every day, but sometimes Trevor didn't have enough work to do. "Smiled Edward," exclaimed Trevor happily. Thomas was on his way to the harbor with a trainload of metal pilings. They were needed to make the harbor wall firm and safe. Said Edward. Thomas eyed the newcomer doubtfully. He asked. "Explained Trevor," replied Thomas, but he was still puzzled. Workmen coupled Trevor's car to Thomas's train, and soon they were ready to start their journey. Called Trevor. Puffed Thomas. Replied Trevor. When they reached the harbor, they found everything in confusion. Cars had been derailed, blocking the line, and stone slabs lay everywhere. Said Thomas's driver. Replied Trevor. Trevor was as good as his word. He dragged the pilings clear with chains and towed them into position. He muttered cheerfully to himself. Later, Thomas brought Annie and Clarabelle to visit him. Thomas was most impressed. The coaches were full of children. Trevor gave him rides along the harbor. He liked this best of all. Said Annie. Added Clarabelle. Everyone was sorry when it was time for Trevor to go. Thomas pulled him back to the junction. A small tear came into Trevor's eye. Thomas pretended not to see. He whistled gaily to make Trevor happy. He promised. Said Trevor. That evening, Trevor stood remembering his new friend Thomas, the harbor, and most of all, the children. Then he went happily to sleep in the shed at the bottom of the orchard.